12 Days by Russian Wolf 7. Day 11. Harry forced himself to be cheery as they walked to the Great Hall. Ron and Hermione were being overly affectionate in the most nauseating sort of way. He was going to be humiliated when Malfoy opened his gift, even if nobody else knew yet. He'd be spending today and tomorrow alone. The rest of the year avoiding Malfoy at all costs. But cheery. He was cheery. "Hey," he said, sitting with his Slytherin friends, the ones who hated him and would only despise him more tomorrow. "Morning," Pansy said brightly. Then she saw Ron and Hermione holding hands, and the way he kept whispering in her ear, and her face dropped. "I miss Blaze," she said. "Actually, as Draco would put it, let me rephrase. I miss dating a decent guy who doesn't treat me like crap." "Cheers," Harry said, raising his orange juice. "Well, sort of. I'm not seeing anyone, and I broke it off with my last girlfriend because I'm gay, but aside from that, cheers toward finding a decent guy." "I'll toast to that," Malfoy said, then smirked. "Oh, wait! I've already found one! I don't know who he is, or if he's a he, but I'm set!" Pansy punched his arm. "Shut up! This is a morning for single people, or soon-to-be single people. Not soon-to-be dating people. Switch seats with me." She pushed Malfoy off his seat and sat opposite Harry. "Come on, hun. Let's complain." "Sorry, I can't," Harry said, genuinely upset. "I promised myself I'd be cheery today, and tomorrow, even though I'll be spending the holiday alone." "Hey, me too," she said. "If you get lonely, come down to my dorm and we'll get drunk." Harry snorted. If it weren't for the fact that Malfoy would be there, and Pansy would hate him again by then, it sounded like a good plan. "Maybe tonight." Pansy glanced at Malfoy. "I might be busy," she said. "Depending on what gift arrives, I may be up all night listening to Draco go on and on." "Sorry again," he said, listening to someone go on and on about their relationship while yours sucks, or is non-existent. I know how that goes. He nodded towards Ron and Hermione. "I'm sure," she said with a laugh. She looked back over at Malfoy. "Want to hear some gossip? In the interest of staying cheerful, I'm sure you could always use dirt on Draco." Harry's stomach clenched. Why did every conversation have to go back to Malfoy? But it would be suspicious if he declined. "Yeah, of course." She smiled coyly. "You know how he said he might be falling in love a little? Head over heels. You have no idea. I've never seen him like this before. He's a bloody schoolgirl. Pathetic." Harry forced a laugh. "I literally can't imagine that." "I couldn't before this," Pansy said. "Don't get me wrong. I've seen him interested in people before, but in an I want to have sex and then never see you again sort of way. Sometimes, if you're a particularly good lay, I want to have sex over and over again as often as possible until I get bored of you. But this is ridiculous." Harry glanced at Malfoy. He looked the same as always, smirking derisively as Ron talked about the chocolate cannons. "You can't tell." She shook her head. "You never can. Doesn't matter what he's feeling, you'll never show it." "As long as we're on the subject of Malfoy," Harry said, knowing he needed to shut up and deciding not to. Everything would be awful soon enough. He might as well get started now. "You fancy someone now? Someone other than the admirer?" Pansy smirked. "Oh, yeah. He's got his heart set on it being him." "Dare I ask who him is?" "Sorry, sworn to secrecy," she replied. "You'll find out soon enough." Harry's heart started racing. "How?" "I made him promise to ask him out by January 1st, Pansy said. "Once it's out in the open, if school gossip doesn't get it to you, I'll let it slip in potions." He laughed anxiously. "I don't care that much. Once it becomes a known fact instead of gossip, it isn't fun anymore." She laughed. "Fair enough. It is pretty juicy, though. Maybe I'll give you a hint after Christmas once this gift-giving thing is over. I'll have to see how heartbroken Draco is. He is sort of my best friend, and I can't betray his secrets to his sworn enemy if he's legitimately upset." "That's sweet. I didn't know Malfoy had real friends," Harry said. "There are a few of us out there," she replied. "Well, there's me. And Goyle, though he's been pretty quiet since Crabbe. Well, you know. And there's always my wonderful Blaze." She smiled bitterly. "If we all didn't hate him, we'd totally be best friends." "If you hate him, why are you together?" She rolled her eyes. "It's complicated and nothing that'll keep me cheery." Malfoy suddenly nudged Pansy. "Post!" Harry's stomach tightened and all his muscles clenched. "Excited?" "I suppose," Malfoy replied, watching as the owl flew over. "I'm concerned whoever it is will have gotten me something even more extravagant and embarrassed themselves even more." "Then why exactly are you wearing the watch?" Pansy asked, shooting a look at Harry. Malfoy shrugged. "It's a nice watch." The gift landed in front of him, and he gave it a look Harry didn't understand. Well, bottoms up! He unwrapped the box and raised his eyebrows. Florence again? They're running out of ideas!
Ron!
Hermione suddenly squeaked.
A matching necklace? Really? You've outdone yourself.
Malfoy smirked. Ah, of course! The twin gift giving! If Weasley got 2 gifts from Florence, my admirer would have to follow suit!
Come on, Pansy said eagerly. I want to see.
He opened the box and looked astonished. I'm so screwed! Who is this? Why is this? What are you talking about? Harry asked diligently. Personalized cufflinks, Malfoy said, taking them out of the box. They clinked quietly, light glinting off the silver and the small emeralds on each end. The other end was marked with D.M. This is out of hand!
Pansy laughed. Oh, come on. You love it.
He gave her a pleading look. But no!
I have a suspicion, she said slyly, and I think this person you're besotted with, the one who you've been ranting and raving about, the one who you desperately want to be your admirer, I suspect they are.
Harry didn't like the sound of that. Or maybe he did. It was very hard to say. You don't know anything, Malfoy said. He looked at the cufflinks again, then put them back in the box and stood up. I have to go! He swept out of the room, and Harry died a little. That went well, Harry muttered, looking after him.
Pansy smirked. It did! He's blown away, I told you. He just doesn't know how to handle it. Draco and emotions, not a great mix. Especially being in love. Whoever this is, I hope they know what they're getting into.
I've never been happier not to fancy someone, Harry said with no inflection whatsoever.
Blaze is worse than Draco, Pansy replied. Well, he's not gay, but other than that.
Tell me about Blaze, Harry said impulsively. I need to be distracted. She gave him a knowing smile.
I thought you might after seeing Draco's reaction.
Harry gave her a look of confusion. What are you talking about?
She rolled her eyes. Oh, nothing. Anyway, about Blaze.
Malfoy did make an appearance at lunch. Harry continued to talk to Pansy, though he carefully kept conversation away from anything related to relationships. Ron and Hermione were still lost in each other, and it would have been sweet were Harry not so concerned with other things. Dinner, on the other hand. Harry didn't say a word all through dinner. Malfoy was dressed up. He was wearing a suit. A fitted suit, perfectly tailored to him. His hair was carefully slicked back, and Harry caught just the slightest hint of cinnamon. Not enough to bother Hermione, but enough for Harry to notice. And he was wearing the watch. And the cufflinks. And the bloody top hat. Harry ate quietly and efficiently. He lingered over dessert until it seemed like Ron and Hermione were almost done, then wolfed down the rest of it. Ready to go? He asked. They glanced at him. Hermione was also dressed up, though not as much. A simple dark blue dress and her new jewelry. Then she exchanged a look with Ron. Actually, Harry, she said, turning back to him, Ron and I were planning on spending the evening alone. Harry gritted his teeth. Of course you were.
Come down to our dorm, Pansy offered. We've got the tentacular potion. Let's take advantage.
No, that's okay, Harry said. I'll just study. Studying's good.
Studying on Christmas Eve is pathetic, she said firmly. Getting drunk, on the other hand, is traditional.
She's just upset because I won't drink with her, Malfoy said.
She turned on him. And why, Draco darling, is that?
He glared at her. I'm studying too. I haven't even started yet.
And it's not because you're concerned you might send an owl you'd regret in the morning? Pansy asked. Because that's what you told me this afternoon?
I said no such thing, Malfoy replied loftily. She shrugged.
You can pretend however much you want, but I know you're just a little boy in love who's scared his crush doesn't like him back.
His glare intensified. You only want to get drunk to forget about Blaze. I do actually have studying, Harry said, slinking out of his seat, so I'll just be going.
Not interested in any more gossip?
Pansy asked. Malfoy rounded on her. What do you mean, any more? What have you been saying behind my back?
Nothing. Stop worrying.
I'll just leave you to it, Harry said quietly, leaving the Great Hall alone. To study. By himself. On Christmas Eve. Which was every bit as engaging and satisfying as shagging Malfoy senseless would have been. He sighed. He wouldn't be studying. He'd be thinking about Malfoy and what he was going to say tomorrow and how he was going to react and what he looked like in that suit with the hat, watch, and cufflinks Harry had bought him and what he would look like out of the suit. And while those things could be considered a certain form of studying, they were not the kind that would help him get his homework done. Studying. Right.